So today we are looking at a video that was posted by a YouTuber named Will Collette, who I know nothing about, but I thought this was a good video. Gives us a glimpse into the aftermath of what happened over the weekend in Beverly Hills and Hollywood and Los Angeles. And I want to start off by diffusing this bomb first. The police officer who killed George Floyd in Minneapolis has been charged with second-degree murder, and the other three officers involved have also been criminally charged. And I say, good. Hopefully these criminal cases will make an example out of the police officers that were involved and encourage and inspire police all over the country to be more careful and responsible when apprehending suspects, especially when it comes to small crimes like spending counterfeit money. Because this is a big deal. Americans do have inalienable individual rights. Everyone should have inalienable rights, but some of these rights are clear and explicit in the Bill of Rights of our Constitution, like due process and protection from cruel and unusual punishment. And government has a monopoly on the retaliatory use of force, as they should. And police officers are tasked with enforcing these laws and applying the retaliatory use of force responsibly. Police are supposed to protect us. They're supposed to be our friends. So when police officers fuck up, when instead of protecting our rights, they violate our rights, like what happened in Minneapolis, then they need to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Because I would say that getting murdered by police is worse than getting murdered by other civilians, because police, they wear the badge, and that badge comes with a lot of trust. It comes with high standards and high expectations. If the police are going to violate our rights, then people won't trust them to protect our rights. And why should we? And we're seeing this play out. And there's a lot to say about the solution to these issues, like maybe busting police unions because apparently they're too protective of bad cops. Ending the war on drugs, which I know often gets dismissed as a libertarian talking point, even though I'm not a libertarian, but I know it often gets dismissed as a libertarian talking point. And you know, even Breonna Taylor, you hear the Breonna Taylor story going around recently, tragic story. That story, Breonna Taylor was killed as a result of, one, no-knock warrants. Police just arrived unannounced and kicked her door in the middle of the night, but also the police were investigating drugs. And this is what happens when you have bullshit social engineering laws. Innocent people are gonna get hurt. So if you guys want to just keep dismissing this as a libertarian talking point, all right, fine. More people are gonna get killed over this. But you know, smarter people than me have discussed this at length. I thought the Ayn Rand Institute did a good video on this with Ben Bayer and Greg Salmieri and Ankar Gate a few days ago. Yaron Brook has been on fire about this issue the last few days. I'm going to link to all their videos in the description. I just want to get this out of the way for a few reasons. I know most people have been in agreement that these police officers need to be punished, but I see a lot of people making these talking points like, oh, if you actually look at the statistics, police kill more white people per 10,000 people than they kill black people per 10,000 people. Okay, thanks for that tidbit, Snapple Facts. But this is an issue that we should not be complacent about. I've seen plenty of videos the last few days of police brutality, police officers crossing the line. I don't think this is something that we should just be cool with. I don't think this is something that we should be complacent about. Anyone that cares about freedom and individual rights should want high standards for the people that enforce and protect our individual rights. I don't think this is the time for contrarian pissing matches about statistics, but also I wanted to get this out of the way before any smartasses get in the comments accusing me of caring more about the destruction of a big corporation like Target than the life of George Floyd and justice for George Floyd. All right, let's get on the skateboard. Got a fuck cops there on the troll sign. All right, so I think this is interesting. You got signs on this store that say black owned. People got to label their stores to say that they're black owned in hopes that no hooligans will smash up their business. And I know we're invoking Godwin's law early, but I mean, this is a little reminiscent of Kristallnacht when Jewish businesses were labeled, and thus the windows were then smashed in by rioters as police and law enforcement looked on and did nothing. And here we have the same thing somewhat inverted. Instead of, Jewish businesses being labeled and destroyed, black owned businesses are being labeled so they won't get destroyed. And black businesses have been smashed up and looted. I'm sure many of you guys have seen the video of the black business owner, telling everyone, look what you did to my business. I know that video has gotten millions of views. Even Now This, which is a pretty left-leaning YouTube channel to say the least, it's one of those socialist hipster internet tabloids. I call them shits. Even they put out a video recently with clips of protesters, black protesters, pleading with rioters and looters to stop the destruction. They're trying to stop there was even a video of them getting in front of a Target and telling them, no, stop. I saw plenty of videos of this, of black protesters trying to keep these white dumbass hooligans in line. And I said it would be a huge mistake to make a package deal out of the protesters and the rioters and the looters, because I think a lot of the protesters are protesting for a good cause. The Daily Beast, another left-leaning publication, put out a story about how black activist groups are fed up with these white rioters coming out of town and ruining their protests and destroying their communities. George Floyd's brother even came out the other day and said, hey, no one's more angry about this than me, and if I'm not burning down my community, then you guys shouldn't be burning down your communities. So I think it's time we stop with this nonsense about how rioting is the language of the unheard when it's jackasses like Jake Paul, who have been famous for years on YouTube, when it's jackasses like Jake Paul who are getting arrested for the rioting and the looting. Of course, it's mostly communist goons like Vosh who are cheering on and defending the rioting and looting because they probably are hoping for the destruction of whatever is left of capitalism so that they can finally impose and establish their goofy ass dictatorship of the proletariat or whatever it is. More smashed out businesses. Also, to be clear, it's not the destruction. There's a lot of graffiti that we're going to talk about. Kill cops, reptilians exist. All right. And I muted this because I didn't know if the music in this video was copywritten. Got an anarchy symbol.
Yeah, that.
Remove Trump. And this is Melrose Avenue. I recognize that. More fuck 12. I think that's the YouTuber. A lot of aspartame on the ground there. Fuck your aspartame. Every act of creation is first an act of destruction. What an insane notion. This on its face violates the law of identity and is based on a zero-sum view of existence. Your creation must have meant that something got destroyed first. Talk about nihilism. And then, what else? We got white silence is white violence on Petco. And I know Rucka Ali brought this up the other day, and it's something that I've been thinking about. There's been so many mixed messages and contradictions all over the place in the commentary about this issue. And one of them is that people need to speak up They need to be louder in their condemnation of racism and injustice and whatnot. But then if someone is out of line, if someone's suggestion for reform is not agreed upon, then you get told that, hey, no one asked for your opinion. You might want to sit this out and shut up. And also, we're judging you for your silence. Now we're in Beverly Hills. And this is where I want to get to. Fuck the 1% and eat the rich. And I saw a video of this on Twitter of protesters in Beverly Hills chanting, eat the rich. Again, is this about justice for George Floyd? Is this about police reform and justice reform? And I'm not trying to sound cynical, because I do think there are a lot of good, honest protesters who really do want to focus on legitimate issues and have good intentions. And if I were these protesters, I would be absolutely disgusted that these left-wing socialist idiots, these anti-capitalist idiots, are trying to hijack their movement and make it about socialism or anarchy. Not to mention, plenty of non-white rich people live in Beverly Hills and other wealthy areas of Los Angeles. Are these socialist goons, are they going to come for their money? Is Will Smith going to get purged? How about Ursula Burns or Magic Johnson? Defund the LAPD. Although, as I said, there is a lot of waste with the Los Angeles Police Department. There was a story a couple years ago about how they spent millions of dollars on electric vehicles, BMW electric vehicles. So it was even a splurge on the type of electric vehicle, and they did this to reduce their carbon footprint. And then people in this town constantly bitch and moan about how the cost of living is sky high. It's because your stupid ass political leaders raise your taxes and then spend it on stupid shit like electric cars for the police department, which they're not even using. Fuck the 1%. So again, well, let's just keep going. We're coming for your money. So here we go. Yeah. So all of the non-white people that live in Beverly Hills, I guess if the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Uncle Phil, if they were real people, these anti-capitalist goons would be coming for them too. So I get the sense that a lot of this graffiti was not spray painted in the name of caring about Black lives, in the name of Black Lives Mattering. Again, if I were these protesters, I'd be disgusted, and a lot of them are disgusted. And I applaud anyone who's speaking up against this nonsense. Eat the rich. Kill Bezos. What will killing Jeff Bezos accomplish? Destroying whatever is left of capitalism won't make things better, you guys. If these anti-capitalist clodpoles get their way, then there will be even more oppression from police, even more poverty in this country, even more destruction, which, again, if you've been watching the BreadTube losers the last few days, that's clearly what they're motivated by. Cops can get a real job. What the hell is a real job anyway? A job is a task or a regular series of tasks that are performed in exchange for money. And so if you're getting paid for your work, that's a real job. It's like this new term that keeps getting thrown around as of late, essential worker. Who the hell gets to decide which workers are essential or not? Let the people decide what's essential with their wallet. You wannabe central planning pissants. The revolution is coming. Eat the rich. Again, no justice, no peace. So I know this is often thrown around as a threat, a threatening statement saying if there's not justice for George Floyd, then there won't be peace. But I think in a broader sense, there's a lot of truth to this, because peace comes with justice. If there's no justice in society, then peace is impossible because you're either left with anarchy or some form of authoritarianism, which is not peaceful. But I sense that that people who spray paint this stuff don't realize that. All cops are bastards. Is that another anarchist? So yeah, a lot of calls for eating the rich and anarchy, anarchism. A lot of stuff is boarded up over the last few days. Fuck the police. Wilshire Boulevard. Again, this is good stuff from Will Collette. Shout out to him for posting this. Of course, more on that aspect of defunding the LAPD. I wish that money would be returned to the taxpayers, but Eric Garcetti apparently wants to reinvest it in places he deems as necessary. And this is the sign of hope, people cleaning up. Good on these people for cleaning up. And now all pigs must die. Now we got the military. We got these military vans, and I've driven around LA. I drove around LA a few days ago, and yeah, you see seeing military people in camouflage uniforms now standing on the streets. And it's not as bad in the valley, but I see videos and pictures of more. It's more of a presence apparently in Hollywood and whatnot. And many people, like that goof Mark Levin, applauded President Trump's speech on Monday night, where the president essentially gave America the option between anarchy and fascism if things did not return to normal, if the governors and police departments did not handle these situations. And given that we're in an election year, there's going to be a lot of talk over the next few months about who is better to lead this country in a better direction. And I don't think either Trump nor Biden are the answer. And given that our so-called leaders are either clueless, corrupt, or both, I want to invoke one of my heroes, The Rock. And for those who don't know who The Rock is, he was actually the leader of a civil rights group during the 1990s called the Nation of Domination. And the other day he put out a video where he said, "We must become the leaders we're looking for." And America is in need of good leaders, because watching this video, considering the tragic death of George Floyd at the hands of police brutality, and seeing all of this destruction in the name of anarchy, in the name of destroying whatever's left of capitalism and killing the 1% and eating the rich, and seeing the military deployed on the streets, I don't think any of this nonsense is something that freedom-loving Americans should tolerate.